Everything you can expect. Want to talk about the timing, the threats that we have, and what we're dealing with right now, actually, right out of the gate this morning. We've got thunderstorms. In fact, they've been ongoing through the overnight. Thunderstorms continue now across parts of eastern Colorado, or sorry, eastern Oklahoma, and then down into eastern Texas. We've got storms for you as well. Let's zoom into the flash flood warnings that we have ongoing right now, where we've got Fort Smith and Greenwood and Van Buren in Arkansas under a flash flood warning. Really concerned about this area, likely to get about 2 to 3 inches of rain. You see how everything's kind of training over the same regions. And when you see those bright colors, the bright reds on that radar, that indicates some of the big rainfall rates. So just torrential. Here's some of the estimates that we had over the past 6 hours already. We've had 3 to almost 5 inches of rain. Here's a 3.5. There's a 3. Doppler radar estimates 3.8 just to the north and east of Fort Smith. So we're already seeing it, and we're still getting rain in those areas that have already had that much. Concerned about heavy rainfall there extending into northeastern Texas. We go down to the Dallas and Fort Worth area where we've got thunderstorms now lifting north of town. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect across this area. It does look like the severe threat has diminished. It's not gone away, which is why the watch is still there. But this goes until 9 o'clock local time. And this will be the kind of day where we see multiple watches that are issued through the day. All right, let's jump up into Tennessee, where Memphis, it's all north of you right now that we've got thunderstorms. But there's a line out there of thunderstorms bringing some very heavy rainfall that extends all the way up into parts of Kentucky, even Ohio. You guys are dealing with the rain this morning. The concern is what's going to evolve through the day today. So thunderstorms now, but as we get through the afternoon and evening and overnight especially, we are worried about the concern for tornadoes in the lower Mississippi Valley. A 7 on the Torcon for today. We've got a 5 surrounding that, and it does include Nashville. Memphis, you're right there, right on the, the 7-5 sort of border. And we're concerned with multiple thunderstorms, strong damaging winds, and the tornado threat. There's a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere. On a day with a 7, numerous tornadoes are possible. That possibility is there for strong tornadoes, meaning EF2 or greater, and some of them could be long tracks. So make sure you have a way to get warnings, a way for warnings to wake you up, and know where you would go if you are under a warning. We're likely to see severe thunderstorms throughout this area today. Damaging winds also a big threat. Don't want to underestimate that risk as well. And we'll be watching storms develop through the afternoon and then continuing into the overnight. Let's talk more about that. Greg. Dex or Torcon values ranging from 2 to 7 across the Mid-South today. Some of the highest values issued for places like Memphis, Monroe, Louisiana, Greenville, Mississippi. Take a look, 7 on all of these. And I want to time it out for you so you know exactly what to expect where you are. The timing, as Greg talked about, will go into the overnight. Now, we've got that risk of a 7 in Yazoo City and Vicksburg in Mississippi, a 5 for you in Jackson, and a 3 just south of there. So let's talk more about the timing of what we can expect here and what we're going to be looking at in the atmosphere. Greg talked about those turning winds with height. Maybe even just as important, not just the change in direction, is the change in speed. So we go from the surface up to 10,000 feet. We go from 14 miles per hour to nearly 60 miles per hour. So what that tells me is, yes, we've got the wind shear that could lead to storms rotating and tornadoes, but also strong damaging winds are a very likelihood with storms as well, the kind that can do significant damage. So watching for that here across the area. This is the Jackson timeline for you in Mississippi, where we've got storms rolling in before the dinner hour, some of them coming up from the south, then tracking in from the west. This is 8 o'clock, big storms coming in. Big hail is also a possibility with these storms, and we see this ongoing until about 1 o'clock or 2 in the morning. Finally, then we get the all clear after that as the storms roll on through. Let's go to Memphis. We've got a 7 on the Torcon for you today. North of there, there's a 5 that includes up into Tennessee, around Millington and Jackson, Tennessee. Here's thunderstorms this morning that we'll be watching out there. Now, these are not the ones that we're worried about with that high level of severe risk. Thunderstorms, yes, early on are possible, but what we fast forward into the afternoon hours, 1 o'clock, some scattered showers and storms are out there. All of the energy is really coming together this evening. This is now 7 o'clock. These thunderstorms look a bit nastier, don't they, when you take a look at that radar forecast presentation. These are the ones that could bring those severe impacts, the risk of tornadoes, the risk of really severe winds, and large hail as well. We see these smashing through this evening. You see that 10, 11 o'clock or so, and then after that, we can give you the all clear. But it's a tough evening here across parts of the Deep South, Greg. Is this going to come to me? Well, it's not moving east that quickly. And the problem with that is that you end up getting repeated rounds of rain like this in some of the same areas. That's why we have that big flooding risk. We've got places like Charleston still raining, Elkin still raining. It's not the heaviest of rain, but it's still falling like it has been through the night. Likely risk of flash flooding here, northeast Arkansas, western Kentucky, northwestern Tennessee. Those are the areas. But Nashville, you're in that zone. We're going to see that line progress, and we're going to see you get into some rain that will last for a while. The rainfall has sparked some flood watches. We've got that out there from eastern Oklahoma all the way up through the Ohio Valley. Rainfall today, as we watch the forecasts, again, not moving east that quickly. So we see rounds of rain. It may not rain every single moment, but a lot of the moments for your day today. Watching southern Illinois into parts of southeastern Missouri. We're watching for that rain heavy at times and watching this as we get into the weekend, too. And Greg, the concern here, of course, is that as we watch it, will be rounds of severe effect and where we're going to see issues. Now, we have rain out there right now. Some of this rain has been really heavy at times already, and that's the concern at the moment is the flash flooding risk. We've got flash flood. Take a look at that because with today's tornado condition index, Torcon values are ranging from a 2 to 7 across the Mid-South. You can see this here. We've got some of the highest values issued for places like Memphis, Monroe, Louisiana, also Greenville, Mississippi, a 7 on our Torcon. So what does that mean? What can you expect with timing? Let's look at that. Jackson, Mississippi, we've got a 5 on the Torcon for today, a 7, though, just up to the north in Yazoo City and Vicksburg. We are going to find thunderstorms here later today. A lot of your day actually will be dry. It will be warm and sunny to start your day. Then as we get through the afternoon and we started the clock at 3 o'clock, you see how showers start moving up, coming up from the south. So those will be some of the more discrete supercells that we see at first. They could be severe. By 6 o'clock tonight, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, here comes now a big line of thunderstorms at 9 o'clock. That comes in. We could see the risk of strong damaging winds. We could see the risk of rotation along this line or in some of these individual cells. So all modes of severe weather are possible. Damaging winds, tornadoes, and there is still the risk of hail as well. Let's look at Memphis, where we have a 7 on the Torcon, especially in and south of town. It's a 5 to the north of there. Memphis, we have showers right now. These are not the ones we are worried about. We'll get a break after this goes through. We've reset then coming in this afternoon within our atmosphere. As we get towards the later afternoon hours, look at this, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, thunderstorms come blasting in. There'll be a few that track up from the south, some that come in from the west, watching for all modes of severe weather here as well. Damaging winds, severe winds, which could be up over 70 or 75 miles per hour, along with that risk of tornadoes. We really have a lot going on in the atmosphere, and this goes through late night. So you need to be ready through the evening to take action should you get a warning. Let's go to Little Rock, where this morning we've got some storms not too far from us. We've got a 5 on the Torcon for here today. Showers out there right now in Arkansas. The main risk is the very heavy rainfall and the lightning that is going on, and that's in western parts of Arkansas. But as we go through the day, watch Little Rock. You know, you spend most of your morning without much happening in the way of showers or even thunderstorms. But then once we get to the later afternoon hours, that's when the atmosphere brings everything together, and we see that risk of severe coming in. Again, a 5 on the Torcon today. This is 5 o'clock. We see these go through later this evening, but until then, you need to have a way to get warnings. Greg.